came from a really abusive family. My parents both broke up by the time I was 12. My dad had busted both my arms, both my legs, and 6 of my ribs.
When I first left home, I was 14 years old.
I was 12, and my mother's boyfriends were abusive, so I just left.
I was having problems at home. I couldn't go out that much. I thought I was being kept in the house for different reasons.
I left home when I was about 16. It wasn't that I had really any bad family problems or anything like that. They were just kind of selfish, and it was just better for me to be on my own.
I was 16 when I left home, almost 17 years old. I have different sexual preferences, and my parents found out about it. They didn't appreciate it.
From small towns to big cities, they leave home to find what they think will be a better life.
When I was first out, I was up in like small town Wisconsin.
I'm from Michigan. You know, I was a 12-year-old kid that had $400.
I came here from New Orleans, and I hate it.
They know exactly what they are running from, but nothing can prepare them for what they are running to.
It was rough. I ended up living on the street. I started doing drugs. I was begging for money, for food. I didn't have nowhere to sleep. I was sleeping in the back of a school. I started prostituting.
That first night, I just walked around all night trying for about a week. I tried to go, you know, without sleeping.
You just worry all the time, man. It's like, you don't know what you're gonna do next. You just be out and doing absolutely nothing, man. Just walking around.
Basically learned how to fight, learned how to steal. You know, maybe break into windows, male prostitution, whatever.
It was freezing out, raining, and I stayed on the streets for a couple nights, you know, living in this park over here, living on the beach. You know, it was awful.
You know, hey, male prostitution, it sucks, but at least it gave me a place to sleep for at least a night. They'd feed me, they'd pay me, and they'd get me up.
I thought it was easier at first, but it just got really weird. It gets harder to find a place to stay and stuff like that. Then what do, you know?
1.3 million runaways are trying to survive on the streets of America. They spend their days walking, desperate for money.
Stealing became really hard to do because, you know, they all became kind of wise to me. And it's really hard to get a job when you have no phone number or no address.
You don't know next time you're gonna eat, so you know, you spare change. You always spare change.
Some people sell drugs, you know, like some of the girls, they might sell their bodies. You know, just hustle.
Where do they sleep? Wherever they can.
This was an abandoned house. This is where everyone came to sleep. Everyone, basically, there's like at least 30 to 40 people in this whole building at one time. It was real bad, you know, the floors were falling through. And there was no doors on it, nothing, no windows. It was still cold, but it was still sheltered.
Abandoned houses, gangways, vehicles, any place to block the wind and cold. Runaways call these places squats.
A typical squat right here is like people that have no homes. It's basically a shelter. Like, as you can see, there's cardboard on the floor. It's like they use that as like a mattress or something, because this basically blocks off the wind. And, you know, they might set up some kind of like cardboard, you know, to keep the wind from coming in. And, you know, this area right here would sleep about 10 to 11 people just in this area.
You waking up in the morning all cold, nothing to eat and stuff like that, no money, worrying where you gonna go next. It's like that every day.
You're going to a different place every night, and, you know, you never know, because like lots of places, when you get the real hardcore like dumpster divers who, they bring like crabs and weird stuff like that, and, you know, so you're always like,
That's like the worst you get. That's like their home for now. It's the only thing they can hope for is an abandoned car. You wouldn't want to live in nothing like this, but if you didn't have a choice, you would.
And you do have a choice. The National Runaway Switchboard provides support and resources for runaways
National Runaway Switchboard.
and for kids who are thinking about running away through a free, completely confidential, 24-hour national switchboard.
This is a totally confidential hotline. You know, you can tell us anything you want.
Being on the streets are like really not cool, and a lot of people think it's like fashionable and stuff like that, and just think about it. I mean, because if you're really that desperate to leave, there are services that you can go to. You don't have to hit the streets.
Where are you? Traverse City, what state is that in? Are you doing okay? Do you feel safe right now?
Well, I think I'd be kind of confused too. You scared?
And he put a gun up to my head and he's like, now I'm gonna shoot you.
The streets ain't no good for nobody, especially at that young age, you know. You had gangs out here, you had drugs.
Being alone is the worst part of it.
Each year, about 5,000 kids like you die on the streets, where assault, disease, and suicide are common occurrences.
What's AIDS or what's syphilis or gonorrhea or herpes or whatever down the road, you know? You're worried about the next minute. You don't really give a shit about next week.
It's like you living in hell. You want most kids like this isn't strong enough to stay like this. Most kids, average kids, might feel it. So
a lot of people frostbite everything, going to the hospital.
We're here to help you sort things out, whether you're on the streets with no one to talk to or just thinking about it.
You have to talk to them. I mean, because, you know, life out here, you know, is bogus, you know? It's really bogus. You gotta survive for your life, you know?
Sometimes just talking things out with a person who can be objective is a big help.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on?
Can you tell me a little more about how you're feeling about it?
Are you safe right now?
My mom wouldn't listen to me. I left.
The National Runaway Switchboard, 1-800-621-4000. Call anytime. We'll listen.
Ain't no joke out here on the streets. Ain't no joke.
Let's talk about it.